What up, Bugles? I want to welcome you to this video and to our Comics Bugle channel, your go-to spot for everything omnibus and oversize. When people talk about most defining Marvel eras, it's impossible not to mention Brian Michael Bendis. His work on Avengers redefined what it means to be a superhero. And yes, today we have here New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus Volume 2. Cover price is 125 USD and the book have 1,224 pages. Collecting New Avengers issues 32 through 64, both annual issues, New Avengers Finale, the Illuminati miniseries, several tie-in issues to Marvel events, and a few bonus stories. This mammoth book covers one of the most transformative eras in the Avengers history: the fallout of Civil War, the paranoia of Secret Invasion, and the moral gray chaos of Dark Reign. I own this standard cover, which explodes with raw superhero energy. Captain America leading the charge, Wolverine ready for a fight, and Spider-Man swinging into action. It perfectly captures the team's grit and determination during one of Marvel's most intense eras. Classic, bold, and full of attitude. This cover is everything you want from a modern Avengers epic. Here you can see direct market cover featuring Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man in his symbiote suit. This version showcases the darker, more mystical side of the team. Both covers are absolutely stunning, and you can go wrong with any of them. The back cover bursts with classic Marvel Omnibus design, a stunning collage of covers of single issues collected in this omnibus. The bold yellow Old Club Avengers headline perfectly sets the tone, reminding readers that this is the age when Earth's mightiest heroes found themselves on the wrong side of the law. It's an eye-catching design that captures the chaos and rebellion at the heart of Bendis' run. Of course, we have here some of the stories, list of issues, and names of creators who work on them. The spine design mirrors the high-stake tone of the omnibus, with deep red lighting streaks and the iconic New Avengers logo standing tall in white and gold. The bottom illustration is identical to the front cover art, featuring the same high-rig lineup, whether you have a standard or direct market edition. It's a clean, powerful look that makes the book pop up and shelf while keeping the style consistent with Volume 1, which is always good. The boards beneath the dust jacket are absolutely stunning. A deep crimson design bursting with dynamic energy. The artwork depicts the epic showdown against the Hood and his criminal army, capturing the chaos and intensity that define this era of the New Avengers. It's one of those hidden details that make removing the dust jacket totally worth it, giving fans a cinematic glimpse into Bendis' outlaw Avengers saga. When we open the book, we are greeted by a super cool opening page, and it shows the main crew, Cap, Wolverine, and the whole gang, all looking seriously ready for action. This is followed by a grand double page credit spread slash table of contents with information about every chapter or story arc in this book and all talents who work on them. And after a little sum of stories from Volume 1 and other major events from Marvel Universe, at a time, we jump straight to the new stories. By the time this volume begins, the world of the Avengers is completely upside down. The team that once stood as Earth's mightiest heroes has become fragmented, outlawed, and hunted. Tony Stark's pro-registration forces are fractured. Captain America is gone, and the remaining heroes are operating in the shadows. This is not the Avengers shining in daylight. This is the underground era, where Luke Cage, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and others are trying to hold on the very idea of heroism while the world around them loses faith. Bendis captured the tone beautifully. Every conversation feels like it's happening under the pressure of a ticking clock. There's tension, paranoia, and a real sense that no one can be trusted. This is where the Illuminati miniseries fits in perfectly. Co-written with Brian Reed and drawn by James Chung, this story finally reveals how the secret cabal of Marvel's most powerful minds, Iron Man, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Namor, Black Bolt, and Charles Xavier, have been manipulating events behind the scenes for years. It's one of those classic Bendis idea. Take something that's been happening off panel and making the emotional backbone of an entire universe. You start to see how everything from Civil War ties back to this group's decisions. It's brilliant and deeply cynical at the same time. A very Bendis combination. And of course, this is all leading directly into Secret Invasion. Bendis had been planting seeds for years, and when the Skrulls finally make their move, it hits hard. What's fascinating is how he tells this part of the story from the street level. Instead of focusing on the global chaos, he keeps the lens tight. The new Avengers aren't generals, they are survivors. They are scrambling through betrayal, confusion, and the kind of moral questions that Bendis thrives on. Who do you trust when shapeshifters can mimic anyone you know? The tension works because of Bendis' dialogue, the thing he's most famous for and most criticized for at the same time. It's snappy, sometimes repetitive, but always deeply human. You can feel the exhaustion in these heroes. You can feel how the constant wars have broken them down. One of the standout aspects of this omnibus is how it captures the Dark Reign era, which might be one of Marvel's most creatively rich periods. Norman Osborn's rise to power after Secret Invasion creates a new world order. The villains are running the show, and the heroes are outlaws. It's a wild inversion of the usual dynamic, and Bendis run with it. Luke Cage becomes the emotional heart of the book, struggling with what it means to be a hero when the system itself is corrupt. Spider-Man brings the everyman perspective and much needed humor, and Wolverine, well, Wolverine is Wolverine, but the real magic comes from the team dynamic. These aren't gods or symbols, they are tired, broken people trying to do good in a world that doesn't want them to. Now, you might be wondering, does this omnibus suffer from missing the main events books like The Secret Invasion and Diary in the Cabal? Surprisingly, not really. If you have at least a general idea of what happens in those events, Bendit does a solid job of contextualizing the aftermath through character reactions and dialogue. You never feel completely lost. In some ways, it even strengthens the story. Instead of reading massive world-shattering battles, you experience the fallout on a personal level. This is the human side of Marvel's big events, and that's exactly where Bendis shines. Let's talk about the art, because this omnibus is stacked with talent. Lionel Francis Yu, Billy Tan, David Finch, Stuart Immonen, and Mike Deodato all brings their A game. The shift in artistic tone mirrors the story's evolution, from sleek espionage to grim paranoia to all-out war. Yu's line work during Secret Invasion arcs captures the chaos perfectly, while Deodato's shadow-heavy styles gives Dark Reign a noir edge. There's also a great sense of continuity between artists. Despite the rotating lineup, the storytelling feels cohesive. Marvel was firing on all cylinders visually during this era, and this omnibus captures that. One of the best arcs in this collection is the search for the Sorcerer Supreme, where Doctor Strange goes on a quest to find his replacement. It's a fascinating, introspective detour that still feels crucial to the larger picture. Bendis uses Strange as a metaphor for responsibility. What happens when the person who's carrying the weight of the world can't do it anymore? It's a theme that runs through the entire run. Whether it's Cage struggling with leadership, Clint Barton trying to redeem himself, or Spider-Man confronting the futility of their mission, these stories are about the emotional toll of heroism. Of course, no Bendis run would be complete without its share of controversies and quirks. The dialogue, as mentioned, can be polarizing. Some readers love the conversational tone, others find it repetitive or slow, but it's undeniably distinct. That Bendis rhythm is something no one else can quite replicate. His pacing can also feel uneven at the times. Some issues are filled with a page of talking heads and quiet tension, while others explode into massive battles that barely slow down. But that's part of the charm. Bendis was experimenting, pushing serialized superhero storytelling into more character-driven territory, and you can feel that ambition in every chapter. There's also some fascinating behind-the-scenes context to this era. Around this time, Bendis was one of Marvel's most powerful voices, essentially shaping the direction of the entire universe. His approach to shared continuity, planting seeds across multiple books that pay off years later, becomes the company's creative blueprint for nearly a decade. You can also sense the growing fatigue of event-driven storytelling. Marvel was constantly building towards the next big crossover, and yet Bendis' new Avengers managed to stay surprisingly personal despite the machinery around it. He cared more about how these events affect people than the events themselves, and that's what makes this run still resonate today. If we zoom out for a second, New Avengers Volume 2 represents the bridge between two eras of Marvel. It closes the book of the chaotic post-Civil War years and sets the stage for Siege, Heroic Age, and eventually Avengers vs. X-Men. You can see the seeds of that transition right here. The team's constant moral questioning. Who gets to decide what justice means? Who has the right to lead? Echoes through the entire modern Marvel era. Bendis didn't just tell superhero stories. He used them as a mirror to power, politics, and accountability. Ultimately, New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus Volume 2 isn't just a collection of stories. It's the culmination of an era. It captures a time when Marvel was redefining what it meant to be an Avenger, shifting from the mythic to the human, from bright heroism to complex morality. Bendis' writing, love it or not, was at the heart of that transformation. The book feels like both an ending and a new beginning, paving the way for the next wave of creators while closing the chapter on one of the most influential runs in modern Marvel history. Reading this omnibus today feels like stepping back into a time when Marvel storytelling was at its most ambitious, messy, flawed, but bursting with creativity. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. Like the heroes it portrays, it's full of heart, determination, and a relentless drive to keep going, no matter how dark things get. And maybe that's the best way to sum up Bendis' Avengers era. A story about resilience in the face of chaos, about imperfect people trying to hold the world together with their bare hands. When it comes to the extras, this time the selection is truly generous. Alongside a full of variant covers, homage covers, which I absolutely love, and every other type of cover you can imagine, there's also an interview with Bendis originally published in Marvel Spotlight. And what would a bonus section be without a hefty load of sketches, character designs, concept art, panel layouts, covers, and original artworks? On top of all that, we also get a nice batch of promotional material from the Dark Green era. And that's all. New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus Volume 2 is a love letter to a times when every issue mattered. When world might end in the next page, but you know these heroes will still tall. If New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus get your attention, you can order your own copy in our eShop, comicsbugle.com. Your friendly neighborhood comic book shop in Europe. Except of great catalog of collected, deluxe, and absolute editions, epic collections, and omnibuses, we guarantee you eco-friendly Hulkproof packaging, free shipping in whole EU, and option to pre-order your comic book now and pay for it later. You can also split full price to 4 separate payments because we know how expensive these books can be. So check it out, comicsbugle.com. You can find direct links below this video. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out any further videos. In our comment section, let us know what other books or topics would you like to see in our videos. And see ya, Bugles!